Okay folks, trying something a little bit different today. We've got our new Ninja Crispi air fryer here, which by the way we did purchase, so this video is not sponsored. And this thing is all about convenience, I feel, especially for families that are busy with children and just want to cook some quick dinners. So what we're doing, we picked up this pizza make your own kit from the supermarket. It was £3. We're going to try and see what happens if we actually make this pizza and cook it in this air fryer. So we'll start with a light dusting of the board with some flour, and I have roped my wife in to do some of this so that I can concentrate on the filming. And now we can start working the dough. Now, neither of us are pros at this, but hey, you've got to try these things. And a little tip I read is if you start by punching into the dough, and that will help you to begin the stretching procedure so that you can start to work it outwards. Now, it will naturally want to start folding back in on itself, but just keep working it, give it a little bit of effort, and eventually you will start to manifest a pizza shape. Now, one spoiler alert, because of the size of the air fryer and how much dough we actually get here, it's probably a little bit too much for one single pizza at the size we're going to be making. So I would actually recommend, if you're getting a similar kit to ours with a similar amount of dough, that you actually split the dough into two and make two pizzas, cooking one after the other. So anyway, it took a few minutes of just working the dough here, and then make sure, of course, you make the crust a little larger, fold it over a touch. And one little tip we didn't do, but you can actually put some mozzarella cheese into the crust as you fold it over and have a lovely stuffed crust pizza if you prefer. But ultimately, it does, of course, have to fit onto the larger of the two crisper trays, so just factor that in. And so we popped it onto the crisper tray before we start adding the toppings. Use a spoon to smother on the tomato base, and you could also use a barbecue base if that's what you prefer here. And next up goes the mozzarella cheese, of course. Now, I wouldn't put any additional toppings on just yet. Ours came with pepperoni, and you'll see why in a moment. Why I don't recommend putting the toppings on immediately. Instead, with the cheese and the tomato base, then just put these straight into the air fryer. So let's go ahead and pop the top of the Ninja air fryer on here. We'll start at, well, let's say 12, I'll go 15 minutes. It probably, might not take that long, but I will definitely stay here and keep an eye on it. And yeah, we'll start air frying. See what happens when we try a make your own pizza in the crispy air fryer. And it's already blown a pepperoni off. Yeah, that's why I told you not to put the additional toppings on straight away, because the air fryer will actually blow them off. Now, the cheese, because it's on the tomato base, seemed absolutely fine. That wasn't going anywhere. But what I recommend, this is what I did eventually, is actually let the cheese start to melt a touch, and then it's going to attach any toppings to it, so they're not going to blow away. And then you can just pause the cooking, pop your toppings on, make sure they're squidged down into the base of the pizza, and then you can carry on with the cooking. And that's eventually what we did. I do move the pepperoni back on once it's, a little bit more secure and safe to do so. But honestly, the Ninja Crispi air fryer, as you can see in this footage, cooks this pizza absolutely brilliantly. The fact that you can see the dough rising in this footage, the only thing I would say is that it doesn't brown as much as I would have liked. And I think that's a combination of there being no oil in use here, along with the fact that we probably use too much dough for a pizza of this size. Now, next time we do this, and spoiler alert, we will be doing this again, I might use a little bit of spray oil on the dough just to try and brown it off a little bit more, but hopefully, it won't affect the taste. However, it's risen beautifully, it looks absolutely amazing, and the toppings have also cooked nicely. In the end, it only took about 9 minutes, and look at the result. How amazing does this pizza look? Okay, so the pizza's out of the air fryer. It's a little bit pale on the crust. I would have liked to have seen that brown off a bit, but I didn't want to burn the toppings. This looks and smells delicious. Now, if I was eating this, I'd sprinkle a little bit of seasoning on this, but because this is for my young daughter, she's the one that's bagsied it. She doesn't like pepper, so she's going to have it as it comes. Let's go ahead and slice right into this. And even though this is for her, I think I've earned the right to a bite. What do you say, eh? Let's go ahead and, yeah, that's very thick, that is. So let's just go ahead and take a little bit of this section over here and see what the rating is. That is so good. That is fantastic pizza. That is like something you'd get from a proper restaurant. That lovely, fresh tasting pizza that you'd probably end up spending like 18 quid on for a pizza of this size that's fresh in a restaurant. So £3 for Morrison's, I'm not going to complain. And of course, I bought everything here myself, the air fryer, the pizza ingredients, so nothing here is sponsored, but I thought we'd try something new. Thanks to my wife for helping get the base ready whilst I filmed, and I'm going to have to cut a bit off for her as well, I think. But this has been an experiment in cooking a make-your-own super fresh pizza in the Ninja Crispi air fryer. Couple of lessons learned, but taking those forward, I think this is going to work super, super well. So folks, thanks for stopping by, checking out the video. I'll see you soon.